Hey everyone! Today I'm going to talk about shadow stamping. What is shadow stamping and why should I use it? Well, there's a couple reasons why, which I think we'll just get to it as they come up. The biggest reason though is to create contrast. So I'm just going to go through my entire process today of making a set from scratch. This may or may not go how I planned, but I thought it might be nice to do a longer format. Just, you know, doing it together basically, a follow along if you will. So what are the things we need for nail stamping? Well, we need a stamper, ideally two, but one is fine. You're gonna need a scraper card. We're gonna need a little palette, or you can just use the stamper, either whatever you prefer. We're doing a gradient today, so I'm gonna use this makeup sponge, and I like to reuse stuff, you know, so I'm sorry some of this stuff already has junk on it. Just not want to waste. We're also gonna need some of these some cotton pads. Just put a little acetone on there. I've got an acetone pump bottle here. Pure acetone only, please. So this is for our card. Make sure you clean your card before you start working. It's pretty crucial to have a nice clean card with no bumps or anything on the bottom. We're also going to need a cotton ball picker and a cotton ball, or whatever works for you. This is how I do it. I'm just going to go through my process. Okay. We're also going to need some tips. I already went ahead and painted these white, and they're dry enough now to do a gradient, so I'm just going to jump right into it. Oh, one last thing. We're also going to need a lint roller and a Dappen dish with some acetone in it. And additionally, we're going to need some kind of fine pointed tool. You can use a little brush here. These are probably the best. I also really like these super fine dotting tools as well. Whatever works for you. I like this. All right, I think that's it. So let's start with our gradient. What I'm envisioning today is sort of a Western theme, maybe like horses or horseshoes. So I got out this plate, MXM 061. I'm hoping to use this to demonstrate the shadow stamping, but I think we'll do some more too. This is kind of a funky color combo, so we'll see how well this works. Oh, my yellow is very gloopy. Okay. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. I like it. When I do gradients, I kind of just, it's you don't want to do this too much because it'll start lifting little crumbs of this off, and then you'll get an unwanted texture on here. But after I do the one, I usually just kind of go down and do the other ones like right after it without refreshing. I don't know if that makes sense. It just kind of makes it a little more opaque without using as much polish. At least that's what I think. If you hear any weird bird-like sounds, I have a pet parrot, and he has like a area up here that he chills at and preens and stuff. So there's just nothing I can do about it. He's gonna make noise no matter what, so I apologize. Like, I so wish I could do like a ASMR kind of nail stamping video, but he's just, yeah. I'm just gonna try to soften up these lines a little bit more. I'm hoping that these videos will look a little better soon. I just rearranged all my nail space up here, and I need to, I think, attach like an anchor to the wall to attach my, what is it called? The thing that holds the camera. Because it's sort of shaking a little bit because it's attached to this currently, but in the future I will have that fixed. Okay, yeah, that looks nice. I really like how that color combo turned out. It's kind of like dusky looking. Okay, gonna make sure we close all our bottles. I think glitter is usually the right choice, so I'm gonna do like a little glitter top coat on this. I have a couple of options here. This one is a really fine glitter that I really like. This one's a little chunkier. It has sort of a pink tint. This one has sort of a purple tint, despite it looking kind of gray in there. So I think I'm gonna go with the lighter one, just so there's a little less contrast for the background. This is called Fairy Garden, and it's funny because I bought it again. This was the bottle I originally had that was purple, and I found this one at another store. It's been a while, and they have the same code and name and everything, but the colors are totally different. They look the same though when I put them on. I don't know, it's just sort of strange. I don't know why that happened. But it's sort of like the texture of this glitter that I really like. It sort of makes it look velvety. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so we're gonna do two kinds of shadow stamping. I'm gonna do one reverse stamp shadow stamp and one just plain shadow stamp. And I think what I want to do is, because I use yellow here, I think I'm going to use a yellow outline. And I want to pick, yellow's tricky, you know, so I want to pick one that's super opaque. So here's some options here. They're all pretty similar. I'm thinking this one's really bright, and these are a little, this is sort of a muted yellow. This one looks a little, it's just a little too bright for that, I think, so we'll skip that one. This one and this one look so similar. I think, man, they really don't look that different. I think I'm just gonna go with the little bit brighter one. Hopefully that one is more opaque. I don't know. No, yeah, I'll just use that one. I don't want to start getting like analysis paralysis, you know, because that's the creative killer, just overthinking stuff. Okay, here's my stamper. Just gonna give it a quick clean. I like to just fill in quite a lot of the image with the polish. That way I know that for sure that polish is going to get into every single one of these little fine lines. If you put the polish at the top and scrape down, that very often works great, especially if you have sort of a light touch on with your scraper. But sometimes it's just not quite enough, and you maybe won't get a pickup down here on the bottom, and then it's like, well, you've wasted the polish if you have to do it multiple times versus just putting more polish on the first time, right? Okay. So this is still pretty tacky from the glitter. So I don't need sticky base coat for this. Like sometimes it's just impossible to avoid, but I really don't like it when there's like little gaps in the pickup. You know what I mean? Drive me crazy. Okay. And let's also do let's do this woman right here. I just like the cut of her jib. If you're kind of having trouble like with getting clean pickup, I find that it just helps to kind of to lay it on its side and roll it, and that way you can get the feeling of kind of how you should be moving the stamper, you know, just to create that muscle memory. And then at some point you'll just get it. It's like a kiss. You just kiss it a little. Ooh. Get some of this excess off. Like that. So when I start reverse stamping on a mani like this, where I already have a lot of colors here, I really want to try to keep incorporating those colors into the other individual elements just so it stays cohesive. Because if I start adding like, you know, all these weird colors, it's just, I don't know, they end up clashing, and so, you know, it's just too much. It's too busy. So I just try to keep it as simple as possible. Like pick a palette of 3 or 4 colors, and then maybe, you know, black or white or whatever. In this case, I'm doing yellow instead of white. Okay, so here's where the shadow stamping comes in. So I'm going to take my lighter outline and reverse stamp this. And I need to pick my colors. So I think I'm going to pick a few other ones. Despite what I just said, I think I'm going to add a couple more elements here just so this looks a little more interesting. Like maybe an orange would look good. Or a light blue. I'm thinking light blue because this is sort of creating a, because this here is sort of creating like a little light bluish green color that I like. And I'm just gonna see what looks closest. Okay, I like how that matches. I don't have a scientific way of doing this. I'm aware of some color theory, but not in a not in a way where I can like intelligently talk about it here. So my like kindergarten way of doing this is to just lay them all out next to each other and just see how it vibes. It's probably one of the most like unhelpful pieces of advice about color theory I've ever heard, but like I don't know, it's just my method. So a lot of people ask me, how do you pick your colors and stuff? And well, this is it. This is what I do. I just look at them, and I feel like when you introduce a color that just like doesn't work, it just your eyes just sort of tell you, like there's just like such an ick factor when you add certain colors together. Like, solo, maybe some of these wouldn't be so bad. Like these three together look pretty nice, but I don't know. I hope you can see what I mean. Like, if y'all are doing art like this, you're probably way ahead of this, but that's how I do it. So I'm gonna use these, and also I think I'm also gonna introduce a warm color. The cool looks a little better, actually. Okay, I think I'm gonna do that, and I can't forget she has like the skin color, so this is kind of a tricky one. All right, let's just start and see how it goes. Just see where it takes us. All right, I'm thinking blue hat. We want to be matchy here, so let me do some little blue bandana. Cute. And yep, let's get the blue. Need this gray after all. Okay, so I'm just gonna give her kind of a give her kind of a sunburn look here, I guess. Okay. This is still a little tacky from the glitter, but I'm gonna add some sticky base. And I want to put her, since she's facing this way, I want to put her on this second nail, because that way if I put an element here, which I will, I just don't know yet, then she'll be looking at it, so it'll just sort of, again, like make the whole thing a little more connected. She's looking over here, and I put this eagle there. I mean, it looks like she's being attacked by an eagle, which would be cool, actually. It'd be pretty cool. But I think I'm just gonna put something kind of simple, like, I don't know, maybe this horse or whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure this is totally dry. I'm gonna give that another minute. Okay, while we're doing that, let's shadow stamp these horseshoes. So here's a choice I can make. I can choose to do black, and that'll really, like, it'll really weigh this down, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's gonna kind of darken the whole thing. So what you can do instead is use a color that's very dark, but not black. Some good options are Delirium and Boba. Also, let's see, where is it? This is new, but Smoke Show, it's another good one. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use Delirium again. I really love Delirium. But this will just soften the whole look. You know, people who paint, you know, things in nature, landscapes or whatever, they often don't use black at all because pure black does not exist in nature. Okay, so you know what? This was wet enough that I could have done it, but since I'm talking just a second, I think I'm gonna top coat this first. That way, for sure, it will stick. At this point, this is too dry, and then if you're quick, you can just put it right on top. But I'm not even gonna risk it since I talked for like 12 seconds. But this is another effect that the shadow stamping lends itself to, is creating like depth. So like with nail stamping, when you look at it really close, like sometimes you can see like how it floats on top of the base coat. I love that. I love that so much. That's like, that is so satisfying to me. It's like pretty much why I got into nail stamping, just like those little shadows on the base coat. I can't explain why that's so appealing to me, but it is. So adding this other layer of top coat here is actually going to create a shadow on top when I stamp this, and it'll make it even more 3D. So while I'm waiting on this top coat to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and place my lovely lady here. I don't usually like to make things float. I usually like to keep things grounded, but I think in this case, this is what we need to do, and maybe I'll add something on the bottom just to kind of even it out. All right, I'm gonna try to do this in one go without top coating. I think if I was gonna do this again, I would have removed the yellow outlines from her face because it kind of looks like she has on clown makeup. So maybe she's a rodeo clown. And I think just, why not? I'm gonna add a couple more little elements around her. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do a couple of these. Pick up these impartial pieces. If I'd have thought this through a little more, I maybe would have put this background on first, but I didn't. So I'm doing it this way. All right, this, actually that doesn't need a minute, so let's finish this part. Okay, I don't like that pickup. I really try not to scrape more than one time because it just sort of, you're removing more polish every time you do that. And we want to keep the lines crisp. So I think this needs a little cactus right there. There we go. Okay. All right, this seems ready. Let's do it. So with the shadow stamping, I don't want to do it right on top. I want to create like a highlight, like the light is coming, like reflecting on part of it. Now see, it looks black, but it's just softer. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. It all makes sense once the top coat goes on. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, and I would like to add one more element, and I think because I did this here, this might look a little janky up close, but I don't think anyone's gonna be getting that close. So let me put down this pattern beforehand. Like that. And let's start again with my second element here, which I think was going to be this horse. I mean, you can use any colors with this. You don't even have to do dark on light. You know, you can put a, you know, use a dark one and then put a light one on top. It really just depends on your base and your background and what that looks like. Now I use these browns on my lovely lady, so I'm going to use those browns again on my horse. And I think just for fun, I'm going to make it a spotted horse, paint horse. I live just up the street from a stable, and they have paint horses there. And they're a little bit strange looking, not gonna lie. It looks so weird with the yellow. All right, let's do a little switcheroo here. I'm gonna top coat this. Wait for the horse to dry. Now I'm going to just put this pattern on the thumb here as well. And this is still wet, so I can do this. And we also need to finish up our pinky. Oh, that's the worst. I think it's okay. good way to see if it's dry. Just lightly touch your brush on it. And if it sticks to the brush, then it's still wet. I put kind of a lot of top coat on this because if I squish this down on this, the top coat is gonna squish because I put it on too thick on accident. So let's wait for that. Oh yeah, look at that. To top coat this guy. I keep doing that. Oh yeah, see. Okay, I'm gonna stop messing with it. All right, I gave that a minute and there we go. Horse. And we're so close to being done. And I'd probably put a matte coat on top of this. I think it would just look better. If I had to do this again, I probably would not use the yellow as an outline, at least for these two elements. I actually think it looks pretty good on the horse, but I really don't like how her face came out. I really should have thought of that, but I didn't, and that's how we learn. So I hope that's helpful and you get a better idea of why you might want to shadow stamp versus just stamping directly onto your background. It just gives it a little something, you know, just gives it a little highlight or gives it a little shadow depending on how you use your colors. And it just adds a lot of depth and interest and just kind of makes it pop. So there we go. Bye.